don't deserve these powers, if I'm being honest. Like, what am I even contributing? Ow!
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Lamont Tyson in the building, Life Gains, with my comic book nerd, my comic book man that comes to see me for movies. Bookman, how you doing tonight?
I am good. That was pretty stupid.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to review Shazam, Fury of the Gods. This is part 2, released today on the 17th of March, directed by David F. Sandberg. Production companies, DC Studio, New Line Cinema, 7 Buck Productions, and distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures. And we just got out of that bitch, and we got a lot to say. And I think I'll start with James because he's probably going to be the most funny. So
I thought of a drinking game.
God!
It wasn't even like it took me the whole movie. About 15 minutes in, I thought of a drinking game, and it just kept going. So it's like, this is perfect. So if you haven't seen it yet, every time someone, be it a superhero, a bad guy, or even just a regular human, is thrown into a wall and that wall starts to crumble, take a drink. You might not survive the movie. That was a constant. So many people, both superheroes and regular humans, were thrown into walls.
Yep.
It happened over and over.
And over. And ladies and gentlemen, this might be a minor spoiler review. We might spoil a couple of things. We're not going to spoil the whole thing,
No.
but general synopsis, you have bad guys, you have the good guys. You have the bad guys trying to get an object of power so that they can rule and overthrow all the world from a new realm.
Yep.
And then, of course, you have Billy Batson, who is Shazam, and his family trying to prevent them from taking over the world and doing those evil, nasty things.
Yeah.
And now, let's get into the good and the bad. And you guys know that normally I rank my movies as an adult who has a child. If the movie starts 7 o'clock or later, I rank my movies based on, do I stay awake throughout the movie? James, my ass almost went to sleep 5 times during this 2-hour and 2-minute movie.
I was wondering. You kept getting comfy. I'm sitting there like... It was like, do you need to go get a blanket or something, man? Like, I was starting to wonder.
Literally, I was about to just go use the bathroom to wake myself up. But having said that, before we talk about me saying things I want to say, let's get into what James has to say. So, James, how did you like this movie? Give me all the things that was good.
The good. Let me say, the sound was spectacular. There was a lot of action scenes, a lot of fight scenes, and you could feel it just from the sound. The crunch, every hit, every explosion. The sound was incredible. I have not one bad thing to say about how it sounded. Some of the monsters, it was basically like listening to Jurassic Park. I mean, it's almost like they ripped some of the sound right out of Jurassic Park. But if you're gonna steal from something, stealing from Jurassic Park is not a bad option. Steal from the best. For the roar of a monster, you could just hear it. There was a lot of explosions, though. Keep in mind, I'm starting with sound. That's my compliment. It sounded good. There were a few visuals. Some of the monsters were terrible looking, but some of them, the dragon had moments where it was like, and there is a dragon in it, by the way, spoiler. The dragon had moments where it's like, okay, that's kind of cool looking. A little bit of a Godzilla thing happening there. And then there were moments where I don't get vertigo, but it almost created it. It's like somebody had a handheld camera and they kept using that.
So you felt like the cinematography in some scenes was terrible?
More than some.
I would agree.
There were quite a few scenes where it really, 2 characters are talking, this is serious, but the camera is shaking, and you almost I had to adjust in my seat to figure out, all right, is it me? Is there something wrong? Or is the whole scene shaking? Nope, it's the scene.
Right.
And it happened more than once, and you just get to the point where you have to look away. And that's made more problematic by the fact that anytime any 2 characters spoke, it kept going and going. Everybody spoke at least a minute longer than they had to. We get the point. Or they'd make a joke, and at first you're like, okay, that's an okay joke. But then they would drag it for it would never stop. We get the joke.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it was a little longer than what it should be.
Oh, yeah.
And you had the introduction of a couple of characters. So you guys know Zachary Levi plays Shazam. Asher Angel, he plays young Shazam. And then they introduced this new young lady that I thought was pretty good. Rachel Zegler was Anthea in the movie.
Yep.
She was one of the 3 witches coming to grab the power. And of course, the other 2 witches was Lucy Liu, who played Calypso, did a great job. And then we had my homegirl, Helen Mirren, who plays Hespera.
You know, a line I use often, and no movie better portrays it than this one. They did great with the material they were given.
Oh, damn. So, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, James is trying to be nice. He's just trying to be very. This movie is terrible.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
This movie.
Don't see it.
Not in the theater.
In a year, it's gonna be on TBS or something with commercials. You're better off that way. You can, and don't wait for the commercials. If you need to go to the bathroom, just go. Don't wait for the commercial. You'll be fine. You'll pick up where it was. It committed possibly the number one sin that any sequel can make.
What's that?
At the end of the sequel, everything was right back where it started.
Damn.
No character died.
No.
Nobody disappeared. No new heroes. No, they didn't have to pay a penalty for something stupid they did. That is the number one thing. Most sequels are worse than the first. This one, you can flip a coin on because the first one was terrible. But they ended exactly, and I know this isn't a spoiler, the heroes won, but nothing changed. The family's back together. They're all superheroes. They're all living together. Yep. Everyone's happy. Nothing changed.
And if you're getting excited about the Wonder Woman appearance, be excited, but just know you're going to be a Minuteman excitement because she's not going to last long.
No, we were trying to figure out how many hours they could afford her because it definitely wasn't a full day of shooting for her.
No,
scenes.
they pay her by the minute. That's what they did. They didn't pay her by the hour. And when she comes in, you're going to like it. You're going to hear her little doom, doom, doom. You're going to hear all that shit, the music. But you're not going to see a whole lot of her, and she's going to basically do one thing that basically continues what James just said about how the movie ends the way it started, and you could have left what she fixed alone, and it would have probably changed some things in the DCEU. And there is one post-credit scene that is not really worth staying. I mean, you can stay if you want to, but it's definitely not worth it.
You just read what happens in the post-credit scene because you won't. You're not. If you read about it, you're not going to miss anything.
Right.
That's all you got to do.
And for me, ladies and gentlemen, because I am a hardcore DC fan, I have not liked this iteration of Shazam because they're trying too hard to make him funny. Having said that, he did have 1 or 2 funny moments, but he tried about 50 funny moments. Okay. And it was all the slapstick style humor. A lot of it didn't land with me. You have your version of art that you love. I have my version that I love. Sometimes they all meet in the middle. But I've not liked this version of Shazam trying to be a comedian.
No.
He's immature.
The first one had a much worse tone problem where 1 second we would have a super serious scene and then immediately somebody would crack a joke. They didn't go that far with it, but most of the comedy didn't land.
Yeah. And if I make a comparison between this and Quantumania Ant-Man, this is the saving grace for Ant-Man. So I'm actually saying Ant-Man was better than this. At least in Ant-Man, you had a way more compelling, menacing villain. And even then, that villain came up short because he got his ass defeated by ants.
Well, and at least in Quantumania, if you like the Marvel movies, you see Quantumania because it's important to something else.
Yes.
I don't feel like this is going to be important to anything else.
This is important to absolutely nothing, ladies and gentlemen. There's not nothing redeeming about this movie. I'm sorry. I'm trying to sit up here and be politically correct and make up some bullshit, but I can't make up nothing. I don't ever want to see this again in my life. Ever.
Okay.
Ever. And I am a Lucy Liu fan.
Yes.
I'm a Helen Mirren fan.
Yes.
And I love that new young lady that plays Anthea. I love her. She was amazing.
for all the right reasons.
Yeah, but there's nothing else about this movie I want to see. Like, they even tried to rip Game of Thrones, and they mentioned it, called her Khaleesi.
Oh, can I do a spoiler?
Yeah, spoil it.
Oh,
Spoil
all
it.
right. This may be second. You remember the terrible Power Rangers movie?
Yeah.
This may be second only to that in product placement. Power Rangers had the whole thing about the donut shop and that.
Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, Krispy Kreme.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they do that, but with Skittles.
Yes.
Skittles is really important to the plot.
Yes.
Skittles is important. They actually say, and here's the best part. What is it you said? She pulls Skittles out of her pocket, and what is it you said?
I forgot.
You said taste the rainbow.
Oh, yeah,
and
I did say that.
10 seconds passed by.
She says, taste the rainbow.
And then she says it again.
Yep.
And then other characters say it.
And then next thing you know, we got a whole pile of them.
Skittles is really important to the plot in this movie.
So ladies and gentlemen, if we're telling you that Skittles is important to a DC superhero who's one of the most powerful on the roster, that ought to tell you how bad and low this movie went.
And to be clear, this is Skittles the candy, not an obscure character that
No.
nobody remembers. This is literally Skittles the candy.
Yes, this is not some new LGBT character they just plopped in here named Skittles. No, this is Skittles that we love and adore and eat at the movie theater.
Yeah. It wasn't a good movie.
No, it was not. No.
Wait for it to be on TV and then skip it even then.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but they just need to reboot Shazam. And it doesn't look like they're going to do it, because you'll see, if you decide to stay for the post-credit, they're going to try to shock you with something that's going to happen there, meaning that they're going to lead him into another... Basically, they're going to try to lead him into the Black Adam franchise. And right now, the way Shazam is, there's no way he can stand a fight with Black Adam. He's just not mature enough. He's still too kiddie. Nothing in his story arc has happened to make him be on the verge, on the edge, and lose some of that immaturity. Nothing.
There's really not much else to say about this movie. We talked about it twice as long as I thought we were going to.
Yeah. Because we tried to give a few details.
Right.
Yeah.
And we could probably spend 10 more minutes talking about Skittles because there wasn't much else to mention.
Taste the rainbow.
Taste the rainbow.
So, James, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and give ratings for this thing and get y'all out of here. And you can thank us for all the coins we saved, by the way.
Yeah.
So, James, scale of 0 to 10, how would you rate this movie? What would you give it?
There are two things I liked about this movie.
Okay.
A few members of the cast and the sound. I really have no complaints about the sound. It gets a 2 out of 10. There were exactly two things I liked.
Right. I did like the opening scene when they introduced 2 of the 3 antagonists, the villain. I like that, but then after that, it just fizzled the hell away.
Yeah.
Like, they were so menacing in the beginning, and then the story just went way left somewhere. So, ladies and gentlemen, just because I'm a DC fan, and because I like a lot of the actors in this thing like James does, I will give this thing 4 out of 10.
4? Wow.
I like the sound. And usually when I was in there about to start snoring, the sound woke me up.
Okay.
So it gets a 4.
It gets a 4. All right.
A 4.
That's almost the number of times you fell asleep.
And Wonder Woman popped up.
Okay. You know what?
Yeah.
You've convinced me to a 3.
Mm-hmm.
You've convinced me to a 3, but even then I'm sort of sick to my stomach saying 3.
Yeah.
So
Gal Gadot is worth at least 3 by herself.
Okay.
Yeah. Even though she was only in it for about 17 seconds, 17.3 seconds, she's still worth 3 just by herself.
Possibly the highest paid in the movie, though.
Yeah,
for that.
Definitely. So
deservedly.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen to Lamont and James. Save your damn coins until you can see it somewhere for free. That's going to do it for us. James, what is the next thing we're going to see? What's next? What's next on our list for all our geek friends?
Man, they showed a preview for The Little Mermaid, and I am telling you.
I'm not going to see that with you.
Barbie?
I'm definitely not going to see that with you. No.
No, I was making a list of the things I'm taking my kids to. I don't even know right now.
It looks like
Spider-Man
or The Flash, which looks really, really good. That looks good.
Both of those are worth seeing, I think.
Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe, download the podcast, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and the TikTok. James, any closing words before we get out of here?
Save your money.
Save your money, folks. Till that next Sexy as Hell video, we're out of here. We tried to save you.